Welcome. This is Birth, baby. Your hosts are Ciarra Morgan and Samantha Kelly. Ciarra is a birth doula, hypnobirthing educator, and pediatric sleep consultant.
Samantha is a birth doula, childbirth educator, and lactation counselor. Join us as we guide you through your options for your pregnancy, birth, and postpartum journey.
Today, we're going to talk to Ciarra about what hypnobirthing is and just get some of the common questions that we get all the time about hypnobirthing answered.
So I would say once a week, people reach out to us and like, but what is hypnobirthing? Like, what are the hypnobirthing classes? And do we need more, like, is it comprehensive, right? Is it just about hypnosis in labor? What is it? So I'm just going to kind of talk to you guys as though I was on the phone with you answering that question. So hypnobirthing is a 5-class series. Usually it's 5 weeks in a row. It's 2.5-hour classes. We're kind of pretty regulated by the Hypnobirthing Institute. If you see something that says hypnobirthing and it has a lowercase b for the word hypnobirthing, for the b in there, then it is not the Marie Mongan method, which is like the OG of hypnobirthing. So it was created by someone named Marie Mongan. We called her Mickey. She just passed away a few years ago. And she had a lot of knowledge about birth, but not a whole lot of knowledge about the business end of things and getting everything locked down so that other people couldn't use it. And so she has had people kind of steal her thoughts and ideas and then make them skewed in kind of a different way and still use the word hypnobirthing. But she did end up being able to make it so people couldn't use it with the capital letter B. So when you see hypnobirthing with a capital B, that's what that means, that it's, or should be, the OG one. So hypnobirthing is a comprehensive childbirth education class that goes over comfort measures, visualizations, relaxation techniques, and hypnosis is a part of that. It also is very much for partners. So people will ask, is it just for me or is my partner supposed to come too? If your partner can't come, sure, come on your own or bring your doula or something like that. If your partner can come, that's even better, because I always say 50% of the battle of having a successful birthing situation that you're wanting is having the support of your partner and that they understand why you're doing what you're doing. So another big question that I get asked is it really hypnosis? And it's yes and no. Yes, it's actually hypnosis. However, it's not what you're used to seeing maybe on the media, right? It's not somebody holding a necklace with a clock on it in front of your eyes, like tick tock, you're getting very sleepy, right? It's not that. It is, all hypnosis is self-hypnosis, no matter what program you're doing. It doesn't have to be hypnobirthing. Any hypnosis is self-hypnosis. Someone else can guide you into hypnosis, but you have to be the deciding factor on whether or not you're going to be hypnotized or not. Someone cannot be hypnotized without being willing. So it is hypnosis. And I will say, and I probably get slapped on the hand by everyone else, but I don't love that it's called hypnobirthing, because I feel like the word hypno kind of turns people off to it. I know I was the biggest skeptic in the world when I learned about it. I was like, yeah, right. Like I can't even do yoga without making a grocery list. There's no way I'm going to be somebody who can be hypnotized in labor and be calm and all of that. Well, I was wrong. And I loved it so much that I went to training to become a hypnobirthing educator about 15 months after my son was born. So I completely understand people that are skeptics. Those are kind of my favorite people to work with because I love seeing it work for them. And another big question I get asked is, does that mean I'm going to have a pain-free birth? Like, is this going to help me have a pain-free birth? No, it can. There are people that have pain-free births, but I don't want people to think that is the be all end all. And if you felt any discomfort or pain in your labor, then you didn't do it right. Because everyone starts out at a different point. Everyone has different tolerances for sensations. And you'll notice that I really don't like to use the word pain, because not everything has to be pain or pleasure. There's such a continuum in there. There's pressure, sensation, tingling, pulling, heaviness, all of these things. And I like to throw away pain and pleasure in relation to birth and just talk about those middle sensations so that we're not focusing so much on just the negative word of pain. I do think it's a bummer when people use the hypnobirthing name and then teach in a way that people think that they're not going to feel any pain during labor. Because one, it gives the program a bad name. It makes it seem like it doesn't work. And I see people saying that in social media groups, mom groups, all of this saying like, oh, hypnobirthing doesn't work because I had a really excruciatingly painful labor. There's so much more that goes into it. So hypnobirthing is going to give you the basic things that you can do to have a more comfortable birth. And I can promise you that. I can promise you that if you do the classes and the practice outside of class, so you can't just do the classes and think that it's going to work. I always tell people it's not on me, it's on you, whether or not you're going to do the out of class practice. If you do those things, you are going to have a more comfortable experience than you would have had you not taken classes. So the ones that say that it's going to be a pain-free birth, really, it makes it so much harder for people to have something that's attainable.
Right, because it's not really like it takes away the pain. It just kind of changes the way that your brain is processing the pain. Because when we think of pain, we think of like your brain telling you that something is wrong with your body, but that's not really what's happening in labor and delivery. So it's actually changing the neural processes within your brain and how you perceive these sensations.
Yeah, and so education is the enemy of fear. And when you are fearful, you are more likely to feel pain. So the fear, tension, pain cycle is real. The more fearful you are, the more tense you are. The more tense you are, the more pain you're in. The more pain you're feeling, the more scared you are. So it just keeps going in this cycle. So if we can put a barrier in there, like kind of stick hypnobirthing in there and have you have these tools to be able to be more comfortable, that's going to be so helpful. And the endorphins are running higher at that point. When you're able to be calm and you understand what's going on with your body, then you're not scared of it and you can be calm about it. Endorphins are nature's pain reliever. They're 200 times more powerful than morphine. We have them within our own body. We just have to learn how to tap into them. And for some people, that's easier than others. And when I said before that everyone comes from a different starting point, there are some people that come in and have no knowledge at all about hypnobirthing, about birthing in general, really. And they don't have any fear surrounding it because they haven't heard a lot of stories. There are other people that have sisters that have had emergency cesareans for XYZ and like just really scary stories that they've heard. And they have a lot more work to undo the myths and misunderstandings of the things that they've heard. So when you get education and confidence, you start feeling like birth is something you get to do rather than something you have to endure. And it's kind of like, I mean, your uterus is doing the job that it was literally intended to do. That is what it was designed for. So it's not like you broke your arm. And that is a sensation within your body that is completely abnormal and not good and not supposed to be that way. Your uterus is supposed to do the job it's doing. So it doesn't have to be this inherently painful experience, but depending on how tense we are, how scared we are, other things within our body, like did you get chiropractic care and all of those things, they all are pieces to a big puzzle. Chiropractic care is a piece. You know, your birthing classes are a piece, the breathing, the relaxation, having a doula, having a provider that you trust that is going to guide you in an evidence-based way and you're not feeling like you're in fight or flight all the time trying to argue with them about what you want. All of these are pieces to the puzzle. And when we use all of these pieces, we have a better outcome.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So you mentioned that there's a lot of different like classes out there that do some like hypnobirthing things. So we have hypnobirthing, and then another one that I hear about a lot is hypnobabies. Can you talk a little bit about the differences between those options?
Yeah. So hypnobirthing, like I said, is 5 classes. You're in person with an instructor. You can be virtual. Before COVID, we actually were not allowed to teach these virtually. We had to get an approval to do so. And we are certified with the Hypnobirthing Institute. We are, we have contracts with them that we've signed. We have to re-up our memberships each year. not everything has that, but the hypnobirthing Mongan method does. And so I have to follow the rules of their program. With these other ones that use a lowercase b with hypnobirthing, or, there's all sorts of different ones. Those have their own rules, and maybe not rules, maybe no regulations. HypnoBabies is something that you can have in person with an instructor. I used to think that it was only CDs, or only a self-paced program. There is a self-paced program, but you can also do an instructor-based program. I know here in Austin, we have one. I will put her information in the show notes. I cannot remember the name right now. It's like Mama something. Do you remember?
No.
Oh, that's going to drive me nuts. Google it while I'm talking. She actually is it Glow Mama or something? She has sent people to us for hypnobirthing when they want it, and we send people to her when they want HypnoBabies. So HypnoBabies has tracks, like I would say CDs, but I don't think it's CDs anymore. It's just audio tracks. And you play different ones at different parts of labor. And with hypnobirthing, it's all within. So we do scripts and hypnosis with you in class, but then you redo these things in your own brain rather than listening to something outwardly. So it's all very internal, and you're doing it on your own. I actually did take a hypnodoula course with HypnoBabies. And so I learned a lot about the HypnoBabies program there. They use different terminology. They have different techniques that they use. They have like a finger drop and things like that we don't have in hypnobirthing. I do think the HypnoBabies program is great. I have seen it work. I do like it. I like hypnobirthing more, but I'm biased because that's the program that I did.
It is Glow Mama. I just checked.
It is. Oh, good. I did remember. I was like, Mama something. I always come around. So Glow Mama, she's great. I think it's Antoinette is her name.
Yeah.
So HypnoBabies is still great. It's just a different type of program. And the other ones that are hypnosis based, I honestly don't know the name of them. A lot of them use the words hypnobirthing though. And there's so many books that you can find. If you type in hypnobirthing to Amazon, there's going to be all sorts of different hypnobirthing books. But the Mongan method is the one that I stand by and I completely believe in. So
yeah. Awesome.
I think that's it.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much for sharing with us. I think this will be helpful for people as they're trying to figure out what works for them, what makes sense for them and their pregnancies. There's just so many options out there, and knowing what those options are and what they mean, I think is super beneficial. Like you said, learning is just, it's the, I don't even know what you said.
Enemy of fear.
Enemy of fear. Thank you.
Yeah. And, when parents call me, it's usually the birthing parent that's asking me, what is hypnobirthing? And then I explain it, and then they're trying to go reiterate it to their partner. And that's really hard, especially when it's just brand new information to them. So I'm glad that we'll have this where they can share it with them and they can listen as well.
Yeah. Thanks so much for sharing with us, Ciarra.
All right.
Thanks for joining us on this bonus episode of Birth, Baby. Remember to leave a review, share, and follow wherever you get your podcasts. See you next week.